Okay, I decided to start working on a jewelry upcycle. I'm working on a collage necklace. It's like a statement piece, and I decided to hop on here and show you my process. Sorry for the air conditioner kicking on. I've got some metal pieces of filigree. These square ones came from Hobby Lobby a number of years ago. I'm not really sure where this circular one came from, but I have glued them together with E6000, and they are, sometimes I wire these together as well, but for this piece so far I have just used glue, and quite a bit of glue. And again, I'm using a plastic bag to glue my pieces down so that it doesn't stick to my table. And this is the layout I've come up with so far. I have these broken earrings, so they were clip-on, and I put them here. This one is missing a stone. I may or may not replace it. I'll see what I think whenever I get on, because this is also missing stones. This is a vintage clip-on earring. I have to cut the clips off of these, but I got, these are also clip-on earrings. They have this dangly, sorry, to show you, these dangly rhinestones on them, and I had these put here. I'll have to position them so that the rhinestones hang the way I want them to, but these are really cute on the sides here. So like I said, I'll have to position them to make it hang correctly, and then I'll put one on each side after I cut the backs off of those. And then I just pulled the screw back off of this one, and it's probably going to go in the center. I may need to move it up or down. And then I have these as well, and I have to take the clips on the back, off the back of those. So these are probably going to go here, and like I said, I've got to get all the clips off of them. And then I'm just going to need to fill in on the top a little bit. I've got some odd pieces here that could potentially go at the top. This was a little tiny pin. I just took the pin back off of it. I may need to Dremel these edges. They're pretty sharp, and I have to change out the tip on the Dremel to the sanding one, but I physically can't get the end of the Dremel off without my son's help, so I'm gonna have to wait till he gets home from work to do that one. And if that's the case, then this piece may have to wait till tomorrow. But I can at least get all of this stuff glued on, and then I will usually leave at least one loop on each side. There's a hole here. This one is not as large. I don't know. I might have to re-drill it, or just suspend the necklace from the larger loops here. Anyway, I'm gonna start taking the rest of the backs off of these earrings and start gluing the rest of this down, and then I'll come back and show you my progress. All right, this is where I'm at. Everything is glued, and I took the backs off of all these. When I took the back off of this one, this sucker broke into 3 pieces. And that's what happens sometimes with this older jewelry. It was just cheap pot metal, but I managed to get it glued on here more or less in the same position as the other side. So the glue is drying. I mean, it's dry enough now. Obviously I can handle it and pick it up, move it around, and I positioned these two to cover the missing rhinestone on the center of that. And then like the little danglies are super cute. So I have put some of these on here, and I'm not sure. I think I'm just gonna have to come back to it tomorrow. So I'm gonna let it dry overnight, and then I'll make a firm decision tomorrow on whether or not I need to embellish the top, and if I want to use something else instead of these, and then work on the chain and what kind of necklace I want the top to have. If I want it to have just chain, or if I want to make it, if I want to hand bead some stuff for the top, or like do the kind of rosary style with the metal loops and with like the eye pins and beads. Let's see. these would be eye pins. So you put the the bead on the loop and then chain them together. I don't know. We'll see. I may have to play around with it for a little bit, but I can't really mess with it until it dries completely. So while this is drying, I thought I'd show you some of the other stuff I've been working on prior to working on these, and that is these super cute earrings. So I've made 3 pair like this, and then I have a 4th pair that are like your regular pierced style. And I got out all my stuff the other day because I need to make some new inventory. I've got a potential show coming up in August. I have to contact them. It's a show I've done before, so as long as there's a booth space, I know I can do it. And then potentially some stuff that could be put in a booth where my sister lives. So I need new inventory, plus fall shows and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I started with these. I had this metal filigree here. I'm pretty sure that also came from Hobby Lobby a number of years ago, and I've had these for a long time because I didn't know what to do with them. They were a weird shape. I thought I could work them into some of my other pieces, but I used a few of them, but not the way I thought I would use them. Anyway, and then I have these other metal components here that I actually picked up at a craft show I used to do years ago. There was a lady there that had a bunch of vintage craft supplies and jewelry making components, because I also bought some vintage glass rhinestones from her. And anyway, so I have these, and I've used quite a few of these, and I still have a lot. So I put 2 of those on that piece of filigree, and then the top of this is a single earring that had 3 of these pearl clusters, and I cut it apart and put 1 on each of these, and then I have these rhinestone balls at the top, and so there's those. And then here, the second pair I made from a deconstructed pair of mid-century earrings at the top, and then the bottom, so the base of it is the same. It's the same filigree piece and these same gold toned vintage metal pieces. And then this is an earring, probably late 50s, early 60s. And then this part was the top of the earring that these hung from, and I cut those off and put the rhinestones at the bottom. And then after I got done with them and I kind of lived with them for a day, I felt like they needed something, because there was a lot of distance between the top of that earring and the bottom of the filigree, and it just kind of felt like there was this big gap. So I dug out some vintage buttons, and these are vintage mid-century buttons and some vintage rhinestones on top of those. And then this pair is more of the filigree, but I didn't use the little floral things this time. The center of these are buttons. I cut the shank off of these brass buttons, and then the tops with a little butterfly that has a little bit of marcasite in the center, those were little earrings, and I cut the posts off of those. And then the bottom is some rhinestones I culled from a necklace that was not vintage. I think it's a piece from Claire's, and I glued the tops of them so they still had a little freedom of movement. Those turn out super cute. And then this pair are these metal hearts. I get these things to hang right. Of course, they want to misbehave now that I've picked them up to film them. But there's the metal heart, and then I glued these little ivory colored boys and roses and these vintage rhinestones, and then a piece of that floral filigree. And then each of these has this little metal bead at the bottom, and these are very patinaed. They've got some age to them. They are definitely mid-century, and they've got a little greenish patina to them, and then some very patinaed rhinestone spacer beads, and then a little gold bronzy toned bead at the bottom to finish them off. And then I glued posts to the back. I think these turn out super cute. Anyway, I have tried on this pair. They're the biggest ones. They're longer than all the others, and they are super, super cute. And so these are probably going to end up in my jewelry box, not gonna lie. The others will be for sale somewhere. I do often post my jewelry on my Facebook page, which there should be a link to my Facebook page in the description under my video. And if they're on Facebook, they're definitely for sale. I do ship. I can just do pirate ship, and I can ship them. So I can do Venmo, PayPal. You know, I've got all of those, and something else that is escaping my menopausal brain right now. But anyway, if somebody were interested in purchasing, I have multiple payment options. Oh, Cash App. And anyway, but otherwise, these are probably going to go to a show or a booth somewhere. And whenever I get this thing ready to take the next step on, I will come back and show you. Here's the finished necklace. I decided to use this paperclip chain that I had in my stash that honestly I've been so busy I forgot I even had, but I think it looks cute. It still has kind of a vintage vibe to the necklace without being too clunky, because some of the other chain I had was just too big, and it was simpler than trying to bead anything by hand because I have been so busy this week. But it's finally done. I think it looks super cute. I am probably going to be taking this to a show I'm doing on August the 8th, and I do plan on taking some video of that show, so it'll be on display on one of my necklace stands. Anyway, I'll probably try and take some beauty shots of these to add to the end of this video, but I'll have to do that in the daylight, so that will be next.